My dear child, there are moments in life when the weight you carry feels like it has become a part of you. So familiar, so constant, that you can no longer remember what it felt like to wake up light. You have learned to function inside the heaviness, to laugh at the right moments, to say the right things, to keep moving forward, while something deep inside you stands completely still, frozen in a pain that nobody around you can see. You have become remarkably good at wearing the mask of someone who is managing just fine, while on the inside, in the quiet and hidden places of your soul, you have been slowly and silently falling apart. But today, something is shifting. Today, the love that created you and has never stopped watching over you has come to find you in that hidden place, and it is not leaving until every broken piece of you has been touched, healed, and made gloriously whole. There are rooms inside your heart that have been locked for a very long time. Not locked by accident, but deliberately, carefully, and with great effort on your part. These are the rooms where you have stored the things that hurt too much to look at directly. The memories that ambush you at unexpected moments. The wounds that are so old they have simply become a part of how you understand yourself. The shame that you keep tucked so far back in the dark that even you try not to think about it too often. You became a master of keeping those doors shut. You learned which topics to avoid in conversation, which memories to redirect your mind away from, which feelings to swallow back down before they reached the surface. And for a long time, that strategy worked well enough to keep you functioning. But functioning is not the same as living. Managing is not the same as being free. And somewhere inside you, in the very deepest part of your being, there is a part of you that has always known the difference. That gentle, knowing part of you is why you are here right now. Something in you was brave enough, tired enough, and hungry enough for something real to open itself just a crack. And that crack was enough, because the love that is reaching you in this moment does not need a wide open door. It only needs the smallest possible invitation, and your weary soul gave it one tonight. A soft, barely whispered yes from the most exhausted part of you was all it took to begin what is now an unstoppable work of healing in your life. A warm and tender light is moving through you right now. Not a harsh light that exposes and embarrasses. Not a blinding light that overwhelms and disorients, but a gentle, golden, healing light that moves slowly and carefully, like a caring hand feeling its way through a dark room, finding every hurting place with remarkable precision, and bringing exactly what is needed. This light is not here to put you on display. It is not here to make you feel worse about yourself before it makes you feel better. It is here purely and completely, and only to heal you. Every hidden room in your heart is being entered right now with the most extraordinary tenderness you have ever felt. And what is being done in those rooms is nothing short of miraculous. Right now, healing is being brought to the memories you buried because they were simply too painful to carry in the open. The experiences from your past that left marks so deep they never fully closed. The events that changed something fundamental in how you saw yourself and how you moved through the world. The moments that happened so long ago that you thought surely by now they should not still hurt, and yet they do. Those are the exact places being touched right now with a skill and a gentleness that will not tear you open again. You will not be re-traumatized. You will be released. The heavy, immovable weight of those memories will begin to lighten. The sharp edges will begin to soften. And something that has been frozen inside you for a very long time will finally begin to move. And the words, the cruel, careless, deliberate words that were spoken over you by people who should have known better, by people you trusted completely, by people whose voices mattered so much to you that when those voices turned sharp and cutting, The damage went all the way down to your foundation. The rejection that made you feel fundamentally flawed, like there was something about you at your core that was simply not lovable. The betrayal that rewired your ability to trust. The dismissal that made you shrink yourself down and keep yourself small so that you would never again be a target for that kind of pain. Those wounds are being attended to right now by the most skilled and compassionate healer that has ever existed. Every fracture, every crack, every place where the structure of your soul was compromised by someone else's cruelty or carelessness is being reinforced, strengthened, and restored. You are not being put back together the way a broken thing is glued back together, fragile and slightly off-center. You are being rebuilt from the inside, stronger and more resilient and more capable of love in the very places where you were most broken. My child, if these messages have brought peace to your heart, strengthened your faith, or reminded you of God's love, please consider supporting this ministry through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links below. Together, we can continue sharing hope and God's Word with countless souls around the world. Now we must speak about the one thing that feels the most impossible. The one word that, when you hear it, probably makes something and you want to close this conversation and walk away. That word is forgiveness. Even as you read it right now, faces are coming to your mind. You know exactly who they are. And some part of you is already preparing its argument for why what they did was too serious, too intentional, too devastating to be simply released. And that part of you is not wrong to feel that way. The pain is real. The damage was real. What happened to you was genuinely wrong, and no honest voice is going to tell you otherwise. But here is what you need to understand about forgiveness, because the enemy of your soul has lied to you about it for a very long time. Forgiveness is not about the other person at all. It never was. Forgiveness is entirely and completely about you. When you hold on to the debt that someone owes you, when you carry the weight of what they did and refuse to put it down, you are not punishing them. In most cases, they have moved on completely, living their life without a second thought about the damage they left behind. The only person being punished by your grip on that unforgiveness is you. Every single day that you carry it, it takes something from you. It takes your peace. It takes your energy. It takes your ability to fully open yourself to new love and new connection. Because somewhere deep inside, you have made a silent decision that keeping people at a certain distance is safer than risking that kind of hurt again. Unforgiveness is a chain, and you have been wearing it so long that you have forgotten it is not your own skin. Right now, a strength that is not yours is being poured into you. A supernatural ability to do what your own wounded heart absolutely cannot do by itself. And with that strength, you can make the choice to release them. Not because what they did was acceptable, not because they deserve to be let off the hook, but because you deserve to be free. Because the hook needs to come out of your heart. Because the door to your own freedom has always had forgiveness written on the key. And as you make that choice, even if it is trembling and imperfect, and more of a willingness than a full feeling, you will begin to feel the chains release. One by one, the heavy spiritual weight that those people have had on your heart will fall to the ground, and the hollow, aching space that unforgiveness had carved out inside you will begin to fill with something warm and solid and peaceful. You will never be alone in that space again. You are being made whole. Completely, thoroughly, permanently whole. Not patched, not temporarily relieved. Whole in a way that goes deeper than any wound that was ever inflicted on you. The healer who is working in you right now does not do partial work. He does not address the symptoms and leave the root. He goes all the way to the very origin of your pain, and he heals it there, at the source, so that it cannot grow back. You are going to emerge from this season more complete, more resilient, and more overflowing with genuine love than you were before any of this pain ever found you. If this message is reaching something real and deep inside you, please take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel. There are messages here that were written with your journey in mind, and you should not miss a single one. Now let us talk about the atmosphere around you, because your healing is not only an internal matter. The spiritual climate of the spaces where you live and move has been compromised, and that is about to change in a dramatic and permanent way. You have felt it, haven't you? That invisible but very tangible heaviness that seems to hang in certain spaces. The tension that you feel when you walk through your own front door, as though the air itself is slightly hostile. The way a perfectly ordinary day can suddenly feel inexplicably suffocating. The mysterious ease with which small irritations escalate into full emotional storms. The way a cloud of hopelessness can settle over you without any clear external cause. That is not simply stress. That is not just personality. That is a deliberately contaminated spiritual atmosphere. And it has been designed with one specific purpose, which is to keep you perpetually unsettled, perpetually exhausted, and perpetually unable to access the peace that is actually your rightful inheritance. But that spiritual climate is being dismantled right now. A holy wind, the very breath of the divine, is moving through every space in your life. It is purifying the air you breathe. It is dissolving the heaviness. It is sweeping out every dark and oppressive presence that has taken up unauthorized residence in your environment. And to ensure that this cleansing is thorough and lasting, powerful angelic forces have been dispatched to your specific location. This is not a comforting metaphor. This is a real and active spiritual reality. These are beings of extraordinary power and singular focus, and they are working on your behalf right now with a precision and a force that nothing in the darkness can withstand. Every spirit of fear that has lurked in the corners of your home, every shadow of depression that has pressed down on your family, every force of strife and division that has turned your relationships into battlegrounds, every assignment of confusion that has made clear thinking feel impossible, every generational pattern of poverty and sickness and hopelessness that has run through your family line for longer than anyone can remember. All of it is being confronted, defeated, and driven out right now. Your territory is being reclaimed. A perimeter of divine protection is being established around you, your home, and everyone under your care. And that perimeter cannot be penetrated by anything that does not come with permission from the one who loves you most. And when the oppression lifts, when the contaminated atmosphere is cleared away, what rushes in to fill the space is extraordinary. A palpable, tangible, almost physically feelable sense of peace will begin to settle over your home like a warm and gentle blanket. It will feel like the difference between trying to breathe in a room with no windows and stepping out into clean, open air on a perfect morning. People who visit your space will notice it without being able to name it. Family members who have been chronically irritable and agitated will find themselves breathing differently in your presence. Friends who do not share your faith will still feel that something is unmistakably different and peaceful about being around you. Your home was always meant to be a sanctuary, not just a building where you sleep and store your belongings, but a genuine refuge, a place where the noise of the world falls away when you cross the threshold, a place where heaven feels genuinely close, a place where your children can grow up in an atmosphere of peace and possibility, rather than tension and fear, a place where healing happens as naturally as breathing. That is what your home is becoming right now, a holy space, an incubator for miracles, a dwelling place for the divine presence. Sickness will find it difficult to take root in that atmosphere. Confusion will not find a comfortable place to linger. Division will encounter a resistance it cannot overcome. You are becoming the keeper of holy ground, and the responsibility and the privilege of that is immense, and you will carry this new atmosphere with you wherever you go. Into your workplace, into your relationships, into every room you enter. You will become a person who changes the temperature of spaces simply by being present in them. People around you will feel the shift, and they will be drawn to it, even if they cannot explain why. This is part of your purpose, and it begins with the clearing that is happening right now. For a very long time, one of the deepest pains in your life has been a specific and cruel kind of loneliness. Not the loneliness of having no one around, but the loneliness of being surrounded by people and still feeling fundamentally unseen. You have been in crowded rooms and felt completely invisible. You have tried to share the things that truly matter to you, the visions and the longings and the deep spiritual hunger that lives in your chest, only to be met with polite blankness or quiet dismissal, or even worse, a subtle mockery that made you resolve never to be that vulnerable again. You began to wonder if you were simply too much for some people and not enough for others. You began to wonder if the particular shape of your soul was simply incompatible with genuine companionship. That wondering was a lie planted in a moment of pain, and it has been growing in the dark for far too long, because the truth is that you were not made for isolation. You were made for deep, real, covenant-level connection. The kind of friendships where you do not have to edit yourself before you speak. The kind of community where your vision is not a source of discomfort, but a source of excitement. The kind of relationships where someone else's joy in your success is completely genuine because they love you without competition or jealousy. Those people exist. And right now, even as you read these words, the connections that will change the entire relational landscape of your life are being set in motion. Not surface-level acquaintances. Not people who will add to the noise. Deep, purposeful destiny, shaping people who have been prepared specifically with you in mind. People whose gifts complement your weaknesses, and whose calling aligns with yours in ways that will feel almost too precise to be coincidental. They are not too far away. They may be closer than you think. And the force that is drawing you toward one another is more powerful than distance or circumstance or timing. You will not have to chase these connections. You will not have to force them or manufacture them or perform to earn them. They will arrive with a supernatural ease that feels entirely different from every strained relationship you have ever tried to maintain. When you meet these people, something in your spirit will recognize them before your mind has had time to process why. The conversation will flow without effort. They will speak directly to things in your heart that you have never said out loud. They will not be threatened by your anointing or jealous of your calling. They will be some of its greatest champions. Among these connections, there will be mentors, people who have walked a path similar to the one ahead of you, who carry wisdom earned through real experience, and who have a genuine desire to share that wisdom with someone they can see themselves in. You have been crying out for guidance, for someone who truly understands the specific terrain of your calling, and that cry has been heard. The answer is on its way. There will also be true friends, the rare, irreplaceable kind, people who will celebrate your victories with a joy that is entirely free of envy. People who will show up in your most difficult moments, not with advice or judgment, but simply with their presence. People who will tell you the truth when you need to hear it, but do so with a love so evident that the truth lands as a gift rather than a wound. You have perhaps experienced so few of these in your life that you have begun to doubt they exist. They do. And they are coming. And for some of you receiving this message today, there is a specific relationship of a deeply personal and intimate nature that is being prepared. A companionship that will bring a quality of joy and belonging into your life that you have perhaps given up hoping for. The preparation is happening in both of you simultaneously. Your job is not to search frantically or to force the timing. Your job is simply to continue becoming the fullest and most authentic version of who you were made to be, and to trust that the right person will be drawn to that with a pull they cannot resist and will not want to. Your season of isolation is ending. Your season of divine community and deep, life-giving connection has officially begun. But before the new relationships can fully flourish, something must be addressed honestly and courageously. The garden of your relational life cannot produce new and beautiful growth while it is still choked with weeds. And you know what the weeds are. You have known for a long time. Beloved, every video is created with prayer, time, and dedication to reach those who may be searching for encouragement and faith. By supporting this ministry through Ko-Fi or PayPal, you help keep this mission growing and touching more lives each day. God bless you abundantly. There are relationships in your life that drain you in a way that goes beyond normal tiredness. Connections that leave you feeling spiritually heavy and emotionally depleted every single time. People who consistently pull you backward rather than forward. Who feed on your faith rather than strengthening it. Who surround you with a fog of negativity and doubt and gossip that clings to you long after the conversation has ended. You have tolerated these connections out of loyalty, out of a long shared history, out of a fear of being alone, out of a deep-seated reluctance to cause pain to someone else, even at the cost of your own spiritual health. And all the while, those connections have been quietly, but consistently pulling you away from the life you were made to live. The pain of letting go has seemed greater than the pain of staying, but that calculation has been based on incomplete information, because the real cost of staying, the dreams deferred, the calling compromised, the constant spiritual drain, has been enormous. Tonight, a divine courage is being released into you, a holy resolve that makes the necessary pruning not only possible, but something you will actually be able to do. Some of these connections need to end completely. Others need new boundaries established firmly and lovingly, but without apology. Some of the soul ties, those deep and tangled spiritual and emotional cords that have kept your heart bound to people and places and versions of yourself that you have genuinely outgrown, are being severed right now by a divine intervention that goes deeper than any choice you could make on your own. The cord that ties your heart to a past romantic relationship that was never truly healthy, keeping you from fully opening to the future that is waiting. The emotional enmeshment with a family member whose cycle of manipulation and guilt has become so familiar that it feels like love, even when it is the opposite. The friendship that keeps calling you back to a version of yourself you are genuinely trying to leave behind. These cords are being cut with surgical precision and with a mercy that understands exactly how much this costs you. As they are severed, something remarkable will happen to your perception. The scales will begin to fall from your eyes. You will see with a new, and sometimes startling clarity, who is genuinely for you, and who has been against you, while wearing the face of friendship. You will recognize patterns you were blind to before. You will see motivations that were hidden from you. And while this clarity will sometimes be painful, it will ultimately be one of the greatest gifts you have ever received, because you cannot properly steward your future while being deceived about your present. This pruning is not punishment. A gardener does not cut back a healthy branch out of cruelty. The cutting happens precisely because the gardener has a vision of extraordinary fruitfulness and knows that certain things must be removed for that fruitfulness to be possible. The same is true of what is happening in your life right now. The relationships being removed or restructured are not being taken because you are being diminished. They are being cleared because you are about to grow in ways that require space and light and air that those connections were blocking. Do not fear the emptiness that the pruning may initially create. That space will not stay empty long. It is being prepared for the connections that are coming, and those connections will be of a quality and a depth that will make the loss of the old ones feel not like deprivation, but like finally having room to breathe. Now let us talk about something that has pressed on your chest like a physical weight for longer than you can remember. The relentless, grinding pressure of not having enough. You know this pressure intimately, don't you? It is the background anxiety that follows you through every day. That wakes you up at 3 in the morning with a racing heart. That turns a simple ringing phone into a source of dread, because it might be someone you owe money to. It is the quiet shame that surfaces when you cannot provide for the people you love in the way you wish you could. It is the constant, exhausting mathematics of lack, the mental arithmetic that you do involuntarily a dozen times a day, calculating and recalculating whether there is enough, and arriving at the same answer every time. But this spirit of financial lack is not simply an economic condition. It is a spiritual stronghold, a mindset that has been carefully constructed over time, perhaps over generations, to keep you imprisoned in a cycle of fear and limitation. It has shaped your decisions, sometimes making you overly cautious when boldness was called for, and sometimes making you reckless when caution was needed, because fear is never a good financial advisor. It has stolen dreams that required resources you could not see how to obtain. It has whispered that people like you simply do not break out of cycles like this. And you have believed it, not because you wanted to, but because the evidence seemed so consistent and the lie was so persistent. That stronghold is being demolished right now. The mindset of not enough is being torn down in your thinking, brick by brick, lie by lie. The generational spirit of poverty that may have followed your family line for decades is being broken at its root. And in its place, a new understanding is being planted. You are a child of the one who owns everything that has ever existed. Every resource, every opportunity, every creative idea, every door to abundance, it all belongs to your Father. And it is not his heart for his child to live in a permanent state of anxiety and lack. A floodgate of divine provision is opening over your life right now. Not a slow trickle, not a modest improvement, a genuine, transformative deluge of supernatural provision that will touch every area of financial lack in your life. You will begin to receive ideas that you know did not originate in your own mind, creative solutions to problems that have seemed unsolvable, business strategies that are so clear and so well timed that when you act on them, the results will surprise even you. These are divine downloads, direct transmissions from the one who sees not only your current situation, but every resource and opportunity and connection that exists in your future. Write them down when they come. Act on them with faith and without delay. Doors of financial opportunity that have been closed to you will begin to open in ways that have no natural explanation. Debts that seemed immovable will begin to shift. Income from sources you did not anticipate will begin to arrive. People with resources and influence will cross your path and feel inexplicably drawn to invest in what you are building. The financial blockage that has dammed up the flow of provision in your life is being removed by a force infinitely more powerful than any economic system or human decision that put it there. But here is the thing that must be understood about this breakthrough. It is not just for you. The purpose of this provision is not simply to relieve your personal stress, though it will certainly do that. The larger purpose, the kingdom purpose, is to transform you from a person who barely has enough for themselves into a person who has more than enough to be a genuine blessing to others. You are being moved from the position of a desperate reservoir, constantly worried about running dry, to the position of a free, flowing channel through which resources move in and through and out into a world full of people who are in the very position you are leaving behind. Your financial breakthrough will fund generosity on a scale you cannot currently imagine. It will enable you to help, to give, to invest in others with a freedom and a joy that is one of the most satisfying experiences available to a human being. So begin now to think and to live like a channel rather than a reservoir. Begin to practice generosity with what you already have, however small it seems, because the posture of generosity is the posture that positions you to receive more. Honor the principle of first fruits. Be faithful with what is in your hand right now, and watch as the floodgates open wider and wider in response to your faithfulness. The season of barely surviving financially is over for you. Your season of abundance and supernatural generosity has begun. Take a moment right now, if this message is blessing you, to subscribe to this channel and share it with someone who needs to hear these words today. Now let us address something that has quietly shaped everything in your life, perhaps more than any external circumstance has. The way you see, not with your physical eyes, but with the eyes of your spirit, the lens through which you perceive yourself, your situation, and your future has been severely distorted. It has been warped by years of pain, by the lies spoken over you, by disappointments that trained you to expect disappointment, by fears that grew so familiar they began to feel like wisdom. And when the lens is distorted, everything you look at through it appears distorted too. Problems appear larger and more permanent than they are. Your own potential appears smaller and more limited than it is. The promises made to you appear more distant and more uncertain than they actually are. And the voice of fear appears more authoritative than the voice of faith. Tonight, a divine surgery is being performed on your spiritual vision. The old, distorted lens is being removed, and a new one is being put in its place. A lens ground to the precise specification of truth, calibrated to see reality from the highest possible perspective. And what you will begin to see through this new lens will change everything. The first and perhaps most important thing you will see differently is yourself. When you look at yourself through the new lens, the inner critic that has narrated your every move with a running commentary of not good enough and who do you think you are, will find its microphone turned off. Instead, you will begin to see a person of remarkable worth and extraordinary potential. You will see someone who has been through genuine fire and come out still standing. You will see someone filled with a power that does not originate in their own abilities or education or background, but flows from an infinite source. You will see yourself the way you have always been seen by the one who made you, which is with complete love, total delight, and unwavering belief in what you were made to become. As that identity settles into its proper place, everything downstream from it will begin to shift. The way you carry yourself will change. The decisions you make will change. The things you are willing to accept and the things you are willing to stand up and push back against will change. The confidence that begins to grow in you will not be the brittle, performance-based confidence that crumbles at the first setback. It will be the deep, settled, quiet confidence of someone who knows precisely who they are and whose they are, and who does not need the approval or validation of any human being to maintain it. Through these new eyes, Your circumstances will also look fundamentally different. The obstacle that looked like a wall will begin to reveal itself as a door. The closed chapter that looked like a dead end will begin to show you the path that curves around it towards something better. The scarcity that looked permanent will begin to show you the provision that was always there, but was hidden from your distorted vision. Every challenge you face from this point forward will be perceived not as evidence that things are going wrong, but as an invitation to see a demonstration of power that would not otherwise have been possible. Your ability to discern what is truly happening in the spiritual dimension around you will also sharpen dramatically. The subtle manipulations and deceptions that have caught you off guard in the past will become increasingly obvious to you before they can cause damage. You will develop an almost instinctive sensitivity to spiritual danger, an early warning system that gives you time to respond wisely rather than react emotionally. You will become much harder to deceive, much harder to manipulate, and much more capable of protecting yourself and the people you love from forces that operate through people and circumstances to derail your purpose. And the words that were written for you across thousands of years will begin to speak to your specific situation with an immediacy and a precision that will sometimes take your breath away. Ancient wisdom will reach across time and address the exact thing you are facing today with such accuracy that you will feel it was written specifically for this moment in your life, because in a very real sense it was. You are going to begin to see, with increasing clarity, the divine assistance that has been surrounding you all along, the protection you never noticed, the near misses you were never fully aware of, the ways in which your path was being quietly guided even during the seasons when you felt most abandoned and most alone. This awareness will not make you feel foolish for having been afraid. It will simply make fear progressively more difficult to maintain in the face of such overwhelming evidence of care. Now we must speak about the dreams, the ones you packed away. You remember them, don't you? Perhaps only dimly now, because you have spent considerable energy trying not to think about them, because thinking about them hurts. There was a time when you carried a vision for your life that made your heart beat faster. A clear and vivid sense of what you were made to do and who you were made to become. A passion that felt like it was not just something you wanted, but something you were built for. Something that had your name written on it from before you were born. And then life happened. The dream met resistance, and the resistance was real and it was painful. A door closed when you expected it to open. Someone whose opinion mattered to you responded to your vision with doubt rather than encouragement. Resources that you needed failed to materialize. An attempt failed publicly, and the humiliation of that failure left a mark that quietly discouraged every subsequent attempt. The gap between the dream and the reality of your daily life grew wider and wider until one day, without making a formal decision, you simply stopped carrying the dream at the front of your consciousness and moved it to the back, then to the attic. Then you tried to forget it was up there at all, but it never died. Dormant things are not dead things, and the dream you were given was never yours to kill. Tonight, a breath of divine life is moving through the attic of your heart. The box is being taken down from the shelf. The dust of years of neglect and discouragement is being blown away. And what is inside is not the brittle, faded remnant you feared it might be. It is alive. It has been waiting with a patience that exceeds any human capacity for waiting, and it is ready. The passion that went cold is being rekindled right now by a fire that will not be extinguished by disappointment or delay or the opinions of people who could not see what you were made for. The hope that withered under the weight of repeated unanswered expectation is being revived by the arrival of something better than hope, which is certainty. The creative energy that dried up under the pressure of simply surviving is being replenished from a source that does not run out, and the timeline is being accelerated in a way that will make up for the years that felt wasted. Doors that would normally take years of networking and striving and waiting to open will open in a fraction of that time. Obstacles that seemed permanent will be removed suddenly and without warning. Progress that should take a decade will happen in a season. You will look back from a distance of just a few years and be genuinely unable to explain, in purely natural terms, how you got from where you were to where you will be. Because the explanation is not purely natural. The hand that is moving on your behalf operates outside the normal constraints of time and circumstance. My child, a single act of kindness can help God's message reach someone who needs hope today. If you feel blessed by this channel, you can stand with us through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. Thank you for helping us spread God's love one soul at a time. The stagnation you have lived with for so long, that grinding, demoralizing sense of spinning your wheels while going nowhere, is being broken right now. A supernatural momentum is beginning, and it will build on itself with each step you take. The dream is alive. The fire is lit. The season of waiting is over. Get ready to run. For too long, you have been wearing a garment that was never meant for you. It is the garment of powerlessness, of timidity, of being perpetually subject to the decisions and moods and agendas of other people. It felt like your own skin because you have worn it for so many years, but it was never truly yours. It was placed on you through experiences that taught you it was safer to be small, quieter to shrink back, wiser to stay silent when your heart was burning to speak. You watched others move through the world with a confidence and an authority that seemed foreign to you, and you told yourself that some people simply have that, and you simply do not. That was a lie rooted in a false identity, and it is being dismantled tonight. A mantle of genuine divine authority is being placed on your shoulders right now as the old garment is removed. Not an arrogant, loud, or domineering authority, but a quiet, settled, unshakable confidence that is rooted not in your own abilities, but in the infinite power of the one who lives within you. This is authority that does not need to announce itself. It simply is, and the people and circumstances around you will feel it and respond to it. Your words are going to carry a new weight. The things you speak, especially the truths you declare from a place of genuine faith, will no longer feel like wishful thinking whispered into an indifferent universe. They will feel, and they will be, declarations that carry creative power. They will land differently. They will accomplish things. People will notice that something about the way you communicate has shifted in a way they cannot quite name. You will begin to find yourself saying things that turn out to be exactly what someone needed to hear, with a precision that surprises even you. Think of the giants in your life right now, the intimidating situation that has made you feel small, the financial mountain that has seemed immovable, the relational conflict that you have been avoiding because facing it felt beyond you, the opportunity that you have talked yourself out of pursuing because something in you did not believe you were the right person for it. Those giants are still standing in front of you, but you are about to face them with something you have not had before. A quiet, powerful, unafraid assurance that the one within you is immeasurably greater than anything standing against you. And giants, it turns out, are not nearly as invincible as they appear when you stop looking at them through the lens of your own smallness and start looking at them through the lens of divine authority. The setbacks that come in this new season, and some will come, because that is the nature of a life that is actually moving toward something, will not have the power to stop you that they once had. When you get knocked down, you will rise. Not because you are stronger in yourself than you were, though you are, but because the resilience being built into you now is supernatural in its origin, and therefore supernatural in its endurance. Every setback will become the specific setup for the comeback that most powerfully demonstrates the glory of the one who fights for you. Now let us confront the enemies that have stolen the most from you over the longest period of time. Fear and anxiety have been your constant and uninvited companions. You know them both intimately, probably better than you know many of the people in your life. Fear has painted vivid and terrifying pictures of all the worst possible futures. Anxiety has kept you in a state of perpetual high alert, waiting for the other shoe to drop, braced for the next bad thing, never quite able to fully exhale, even when the immediate circumstances gave you no reason to be afraid. They have stolen your sleep. They have stolen your enjoyment of genuinely good moments, because even in the good moments there was a background whisper reminding you that it would not last. They have stolen your ability to be fully present, because your mind was always either in the painful past or the terrifying future, almost never simply here. You have fought them with every tool available to you. With logic, reminding yourself that most of what you fear never actually happens. With willpower, forcing yourself to push through the fear and act anyway. With distraction, keeping yourself busy enough that the anxiety had less space to fill. And these strategies have had some limited success. But the fear always came back because the root was never addressed. You were treating the symptoms of a spiritual condition with natural tools, and the relief was always temporary. Tonight the root is being addressed. The perfect and complete love that is flooding through you right now is not simply managing your fear. It is consuming it. Fear is a shadow, and a shadow has no power or substance of its own. It exists only in the absence of light. And as the brilliant, holy light of unconditional love floods every corner of your being, every shadow of fear has nowhere left to hide and no darkness left to draw its substance from. They are being driven out by the very presence of love, because a love this complete and this certain simply leaves no room for fear to exist. The root system of anxiety that has wrapped itself around your thoughts for so long is being pulled out completely tonight. Not trimmed, not managed, removed entirely, root and all, from the soil of your soul. And in the empty ground where it once grew, a completely different seed is being planted. The seed of a supernatural peace that does not depend on circumstances being under control, because it comes from a source that is above all circumstances. This peace will grow. It will spread through your inner life like a slow, steady warmth. It will produce a tranquility and a restfulness and a quiet confidence that will genuinely confound the people who know what you have been through, because it will make no sense by any natural measure. The what-ifs that have held your mind hostage are being answered tonight with the only answer that addresses all of them simultaneously. Whatever comes, whatever happens, whatever changes or breaks or fails or disappoints, the one who is with you is greater than any of it. Before the problem existed, the solution was already prepared. Before the need arose, the provision was already set aside. Before the storm gathered, the peace to carry you through it was already yours. This is the truth that silences every what if, not by eliminating every possibility of difficulty, but by establishing beyond any doubt that you will never face any difficulty without the resources and the presence and the power of the one who made you fully engaged on your behalf. Let the worries go, every single one of them. Open your hands and release them, not because they do not matter, but because they have been taken from you and placed in hands infinitely more capable of handling them than yours ever were. And as you release them, a peace that your mind cannot fully comprehend will settle over you like a physical thing. It will stand guard over your heart. It will protect the stillness that is being established in you. It will hold you through everything that is coming. The war with fear and anxiety is not still being fought. It is over. You have already won. Come and live in the victory that is yours. Your heart has been in mourning. The tears have been many, and they have been real, and every single one of them has been seen and honored and kept with a tenderness that you may not have fully believed was possible. The grief you have carried for what was lost and what was broken and what never came to be has been a genuine and sacred thing. It was not weakness. It was the evidence of a heart that loved deeply enough to feel loss deeply. And that heart has been honored in its grief. But tonight a divine announcement is being made over your life. The season of weeping has run its full course. It has served its necessary purpose. And now, with all the authority of the one who governs every season, a new season is being declared. The season of rejoicing has officially begun. Not the shallow, performative happiness that the world offers as a substitute for genuine joy, but a deep, resilient, soul-level joy that springs up from within and is not dependent on anything outside you remaining stable or favorable. This is the oil of joy that is being poured over your head right now, and it will heal the very memory of your sorrow. Beauty is being given to you in exchange for the ashes of what was destroyed. Every burnt out plan, every scorched hope, every remnant of what was lost is being transformed by a creative power that specializes in making beautiful things from broken materials. The specific beautiful thing being built from your specific broken pieces will be unlike anything that has ever existed before, because it will bear the unique marks of your unique story, redeemed by a love that wastes nothing. A new song is rising within you right now. You may not hear it yet with the ears of your understanding, but it is there, beginning in the deepest place inside you. A melody of genuine gratitude for what is being done and a rhythm of real hope for what is coming. Do not wait until you feel completely healed before you give it voice. Open your mouth and let it out, even if it starts as a whisper. Even if your voice cracks on the first note. Even if you feel slightly ridiculous singing when you still have tears drying on your face. The song is the right response to this moment. It is the language of faith. It is the declaration that the new season has arrived. Let it out and let it grow. Laughter is coming back. Deep, real, cleansing laughter that fills the room and changes the atmosphere. The kind of laughter that has been absent from your life for too long. It will return not as a performance, but as a natural overflow of a soul that has been genuinely, thoroughly, permanently relieved of a burden it was never designed to carry. The dancing that David did when the ark came home, that uninhibited, joyful, unconcerned, with appearances celebration, that is what is being invited of you now. Not as a religious exercise, as a genuine and personal celebration of the greatest comeback story your life has ever produced. You have stood in front of locked doors for a very long time. You know the specific doors I am speaking of, because you have stood in front of them so many times that you know every detail of the grain of the wood and the shape of the keyhole. The door to the financial freedom that would end the constant anxiety. The door to the platform or the position that would allow you to do what you were actually made to do. The door to the kind of influence that would let your life mean something beyond your immediate circle. The door to your purpose, which you can feel on the other side but have never been able to reach through. Dear child, every video on this channel is created with love, faith, and dedication to sharing God's Word. If these messages inspire and encourage you, you can support our mission through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. Thank you for being part of this journey. You have knocked with prayer, and you have pushed with effort, and you have pleaded with every form of faith you could muster. And sometimes the doors have opened briefly, enough to fill you with hope, only to close again before you could fully step through. The frustration of that specific cycle, the hope and the disappointment, and the hope again, and the disappointment again, has been one of the most damaging patterns in your spiritual life, because it has made hope itself feel dangerous. But that pattern is ending tonight. The doors are not simply being opened one at a time as a reward for sufficient effort or correct behavior. Something more significant is happening. A ring of keys is being placed into your hands right now. A complete set of keys, forged in heaven, bearing your name, and covering every door that stands between you and the fullness of what you were made to walk in. The key of provision and promotion will open doors of resource and advancement that no human gatekeeper or economic circumstance or enemy assignment can close behind them. When these doors open, they stay open. You will walk through them with a confidence that does not require external permission or validation, because you will know who gave you the key. The key of access will grant you entrance to places and platforms and conversations and circles that your background and your resume and your natural connections would never have gotten you into. Rooms you did not know existed. Tables where decisions are made. Relationships with people who carry influence and who will use it on your behalf. This access is not for your personal aggrandizement. It is for your assignment. Use it accordingly. The key of revelation will open up dimensions of spiritual understanding that have been closed to you. The ancient wisdom will speak to you with fresh and immediate application. The guidance you have been crying out for in specific, practical, day-to-day situations will come with a clarity and a timeliness that removes all uncertainty about what you are supposed to do and where you are supposed to go next. The key of authority will transform your engagement with spiritual warfare entirely. You have spent too long on the defensive, reacting to attacks and trying to recover from damage. With this key, you take the initiative. You become the one who advances rather than merely defends. You bind what needs to be bound, and you release what needs to be released, and the spiritual environment around you shifts in response to your authority, rather than you constantly shifting in response to its pressure. You are not a beggar standing outside hoping someone kind will answer. You are royalty, and you now hold the keys to your own inheritance. Walk up to every door that has been locked against you. Put the key in. Turn it with faith, and step through into everything that has been prepared for you. Now we come to the place of deepest surrender. You have been fighting so hard for so long. The white-knuckled grip on every outcome. The exhausting effort to manage every variable. The constant vigilance required to try to steer your life away from every danger you can foresee. It has worn you to the bone. You believe on some deep level that if you let go, even slightly, everything will come apart. And so you hold on tighter, and the exhaustion deepens, and the cycle continues. Tonight you are being invited into the great paradox of the kingdom, the place where surrender is the most powerful move available to you. Not surrender to the circumstances. Not surrender to the fear. Surrender to the one who holds every answer to every question your life has ever asked. Open your hands. Release the plans you have clutched so tightly, the timelines you have crafted, the specific ways you have decided things must work out. Let them go as an offering, and in return, receive a blueprint that was crafted in eternity, that accounts for every variable you could never have anticipated, and that leads not just to success, but to a fulfillment so complete it will make everything you were striving for seem small by comparison. This surrender is not defeat. In the kingdom, It is the prerequisite for the greatest possible victory. The moment you stop trying to win the battle in your own insufficient strength is the exact moment the full force of heaven engages on your behalf. Your yielding is your authorization. Your rest is your weapon. And the peace you will find in that place of surrender, the deep, quiet, utterly unshakable peace of one who knows they are completely cared for by the most powerful being in existence, will be unlike anything you have ever felt before. As this sacred time draws toward its close, let the full weight of what has happened tonight settle into the deepest part of you. This was not a pleasant emotional experience that will fade with the morning. This was a real and permanent and covenant-based transformation of your fundamental spiritual reality. The enemy will come in the days ahead and try to tell you that nothing has changed, that you only felt a feeling and feelings pass. He will point to circumstances that have not yet visibly shifted and use them as evidence that the promises were empty. Do not listen. Do not engage with that argument. Simply stand on the covenant that was sealed before the world began and remind him that you have a guarantee that his lies cannot invalidate. You are chosen. You are cherished. You are completely accepted exactly as you are. You are forgiven of everything. You are filled with a power that raised the dead. You are a child of the Most High King. These are not aspirational statements. They are your present, permanent, unalterable reality. Begin to live from them rather than toward them. Begin to speak from them. Begin to make decisions from them. Begin to carry yourself in the full knowledge of who you are. A fresh fire of the Holy Spirit is being released upon you now. A fire that purifies, that refines your character in the same way that extreme heat refines gold, by bringing the impurities to the surface, where they can be removed. A fire that ignites a holy passion for a world full of people who are in the very darkness you are walking out of. A fire that empowers you to live and to love and to serve and to give and to create and to lead in ways that are beyond the natural limits of what you could do in your own strength. This fire is the seal on everything that has been done tonight. Receive it fully. Do not be afraid of it. It is the gift that makes everything else work. As you wake tomorrow morning, pay close attention to what is absent. The familiar weight of dread, the background anxiety that has been your unwelcome alarm clock for longer than you can remember. It will be gone. In its place will be a lightness and a stillness and a quiet, steady peace that you will recognize as something genuinely new. That absence will be your first tangible proof that tonight was real. And from that first proof, more will follow, building on each other in a beautiful cascading testimony of the faithfulness of the one who promised. This is not the end of your story. This is the first page of the best chapter that story has ever contained. The very best is genuinely, truly, excitingly yet to come. You are loved completely. You are held securely. You are purposed eternally. Go now and live like it for the rest of your days. Let the deepest truth of your life not be what happened to you, but what was done for you, and what is being made of you by hands that never stop working on your behalf. You are my beloved child. You are safe. You are whole. You are free. And you are just getting started. If this message has spoken to your heart today, please like this video and write, "Today everything changes," in the comments below, because your words of faith matter and they have power. Subscribe to this channel so that you never miss a message that was meant for you. And share this with someone in your life who needs to hear that they are not alone, that their pain is seen, and that the very best chapters of their story are still ahead of them. Go in peace, in power, and in the unshakable knowledge that you are completely and forever loved.